Happy Friday morning, May 7, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Friday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's begin. First step, Sununu plans new programs to help lodging, live venues, and other businesses. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Does your boiler or furnace vent into your chimney? The majority of chimney flues in New Hampshire are actually used to vent oil and gas heating appliances. These flues need to be inspected annually.
The state does not need nor want to take that money back. Let's be very clear.
Governor Sununu says the state believes some money from the CARES Act fund will have to be recouped from businesses that did better than expected in 2020.
So if businesses received funds for lost revenue but ultimately didn't have lost revenue, the federal rules say that we have to recoup that.
The governor says that money could be in excess of $50 million and would be reinvested by letting businesses submit COVID-related expenses regardless of total revenue. It will also go to a hotel and lodging fund and to live venues that didn't qualify for certain other help. But in a statement to News 9, the U.S. Treasury Department says the requirement to repay amounts in excess of actual revenue is not required by the Treasury guidance regarding the use of CRF funds. The governor says the guidance documents say the money has to be recouped.
The fact of the matter is that there are limitations on those CARES Act funds, and we just want more flexibility. We want them to be able to tell us, hey, you can cut it down to 50% in terms of the PPP money that has to be counted against that. Any flexibility they can give us, because we don't want to pull this money back.
In an additional statement to News 9, the governor's office says Treasury has not supplied any additional information to the state of New Hampshire that would indicate their strict rules have changed. They go on to say a statement from a spokesperson doesn't guarantee businesses are protected from future federal audits, and the state will follow up with the Treasury Department. Now, as for the American Rescue Plan, the newest stimulus money, the state says they're going to use that money for clean water infrastructure, broadband expansion, mental health services, and state parks. In Concord, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Officials announced 3 additional COVID-19 related deaths. Governor says translation time remains. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Homegrown, homemade, and diehard hometown pride. The best things in life start with home. Whether you're buying or selling a home, the trusted professionals at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate are here to help you find your happy place. Expect better. Start by calling or contacting Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, the Masiello Group, www.masiello.com, 800-741-1540.
I feel very confident about the summer in terms of low numbers, low hospitalization, incredibly low fatality rate.
As the state's COVID-19 precautions change to best practices, 53% of people in New Hampshire have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 36% are fully vaccinated. State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan says, while vaccinations are helping, the current pandemic numbers in New Hampshire tell him precautions are still necessary.
I know that the recommendation for people to continue to practice social distancing, to continue to wear face masks, is is becoming more and more difficult for people to hear and comply with. That's something I think we need to acknowledge. But the ability to pull back on some of these recommendations, I think, is a factor of two things. One is the level of vaccination.
Meanwhile, on the financial side, Governor Sununu says CARES Act regulations say the state will have to recoup money from businesses who did better than expected in 2020. A spokesperson for the U.S. Treasury told News 9 that's not the case, but Governor Sununu said the rules say it is.
Business can't say they had a COVID-related loss if they made more money. And that's the federal government's rule, not ours. So again, we'll try to push as much flexibility. If what they're essentially saying is if they're saying there's no requirement, then that's going to be an awesome opportunity.
Asked for further clarification, the governor's office released a statement to News 9 saying the Treasury hasn't said their strict rules have changed and they will follow up with the Treasury directly. In Concord, Jessica Moran, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Claremont School District plans to vaccinate clinic for kids 12 and up. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When it's time to invest in a new roof, be smart and look at more factors than just the final price. Not all roofs are the same, and not all roofers are the same. Ask the questions. Do they offer?
Ashley Goss plans on vaccinating her 12-year-old daughter.
I couldn't be responsible for saying, I'm not going to vaccinate you, we'll take the chance, and then have her get COVID maybe and have something horrible happen. If science is able to provide it to us, we're going to take advantage of it.
Her first dose could happen by next Friday. The Claremont School District is planning a clinic for students 12 and up.
People are already signing up for those appointments, and it's on Friday. We're awaiting the the verification of it and the approval on Tuesday, and but we're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Parents are being asked to sign up by tomorrow. However, the deadline is Tuesday.
We want to know how many students are going to be doing it. Are we going to have 15 students or are we going to have 300 students, right? Because we need to make sure that we have enough vaccines available.
During the clinic, students will be accompanied by teachers who can identify them.
Some of our kids don't have driver's license or IDs, so we need to have a staff member that verifies who they are.
Students will receive their second dose 3 weeks later. The district has a backup date if the FDA does not make their announcement by next week.
We're starting to see a really bright light at the end of the tunnel, and we're very excited about that.
Permission slips will be sent out next week by email. Students will have to have that with them to get the vaccine. Reporting live in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Opiate crisis rising in New Hampshire. Manchester projects significant increase in deaths. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
My old roof was an asphalt roof. It was really starting to look ragged. It's an island house. I wanted it to blend in better, so I decided to go with a metal roof. I actually went to Forever Metal Roof, and they explained everything about a metal roof to me. There was a separate crew who actually brought the materials out here on a barge and got it all set up, and then there was the installers. Both crews that I worked with were fantastic. They really exceeded my expectations of what a metal roof and how to install it would be.
Visit us at forevermetalroof.com to learn more.
American Medical Response says the opioid epidemic did not stop for the pandemic and will continue. In Nashua, there were 206 suspected overdoses last year compared to 80 in the first 4 months of this year, an upward trend. Manchester recorded 39 overdose deaths in 2020 compared to 15 already this year.
We expect to see some more overdoses this year over last because we had so many restrictions last year at this time.
Narcan use by citizens before first responders arrive continues to rise.
Which is good because, our number one mission is to save lives. And Narcan clearly does that.
First responders say travel restrictions during the pandemic stalled some drug supplies. They're finding people taking whatever they can get their hands on, including dangerous mixtures of opioids and meth.
If we wake somebody up that's suffering from an opioid overdose and they also have methamphetamine on board, those folks can be very, very unpredictable and extremely dangerous.
First responders say if you want help, you can dial 211. The Doorways program has treatment locations around the state, or you can stop by any Manchester firehouse for their Safe Station program. In Manchester, Jean Mackin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Low unemployment fuels work shortages in several industries. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
The service industry hard hit. The owner of several Portsmouth area restaurants says some are closed a few days a week because of staffing issues, especially in the kitchen.
You don't have people coming into the industry to move up to those positions once you're fully back open. And then you have some people that leave and never come back.
Fierce competition driving up pay.
The rates are, $14, $15 for dishwashers. Line cooks are higher.
With the lodging industry back in demand, owners of the AC Hotel holding a several-day job fair for nearly every position.
There's been a dramatic shift in an economy, a shutdown and then a rev up, and it's not a clean transition on either end.
The labor pool could increase when high schools and colleges get out, and with unemployment benefits now requiring a job search. But some, like this cruise ship entertainment coordinator, are willing to wait to get that job back.
I think that I'm in a position where I don't necessarily need to go out, and also considering things with COVID are still kind of up and down in certain places.
Other industries now in high demand need specific skills.
The areas that are really seeing the skills gap are the construction and manufacturing areas, and getting those individuals hired, trained, and then staying without leaving.
The Economist says it will take time for people to re-enter the job market and find the right job. But she says with the economy growing, things should be pretty good, especially by the fall. In Portsmouth, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Summer camps ready to welcome children back this summer. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Summit Packaging Systems is hiring for all shifts. Summit knows stability, security, and growth are extremely valuable. You'll develop skills to succeed and earn steady income and benefits. Apply online at summitpackagingsystems.com/careers today.
Our overnight camps didn't operate for the first time in well over 90 years.
This year, however, the boys and girls overnight camps at the Granite YMCA will be up and running with some changes. For instance, a comprehensive COVID testing program.
All campers and staff will be tested prior to arrival at camp, upon arrival, and then campers and staff that are staying longer than 5 days will be tested again on day 5 as well.
Large-scale group activities are also being curtailed.
But when we do offer those activities, we'll make sure that we're outside with plenty of spacing.
But whether it's a day camp or overnight, most activities will go on as they have in the past. A year ago, as COVID-19 closed camps around the state, there were questions about the survival of the industry. Now?
Well, I think that most, if not all, camps expect to operate this summer.
Robin says the new best practices guidelines that came out last week give operators a lot of leeway.
I see them navigating the recommended best practices safely, confidently, and I see a really good summer ahead for for everyone.
He anticipates that day camps will also have some sort of testing, whether it's taking temperatures or filling out a questionnaire. Last year, it was also recommended that campers and staff remain in the same group or cohort as much as possible. But Robin says we now have a better understanding of the virus.
I think it means that camps will be able to expand those cohorts.
And for parents who are concerned,
we have healthcare staff, we have trained, capable, experienced staff, and we know how to do this.
Like many other industries, for some camps, staffing is a concern. Hansen says that's why it's critical they get the J-1 visas, because traditionally they hire a lot of international staff. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three wounded in Idaho middle school shooting. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
It was a terrifying day at a middle school in Rigby, Idaho. A student pulled out a gun and opened fire, injuring 2 other students and a custodian. All are expected to be okay, but the student with the gun was taken into custody. Police are investigating what led to the shooting.
Okay, and that's it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you back here sometime next week. I'll be off air this weekend.